Hi, I'm doing well. Feel healthy. Yeah, I'm excited to watch some high level competition. Okay. What is that to think? Yeah, cool. Lovely. Yes, I've was watched the last tournament that Liquid won recently. It was nice to see Secret um not just all over. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I hate to say it like that. Like, I don't want to see Secret lose, but yeah, I mean, obviously follow that team a lot, and they look like they're struggling at the moment. But you know how they just come out and they make things happen all of a sudden. So they had a post on Twitter about something like someone's awake or something, and then Anna posted his stream or something. So maybe maybe it's a sign. But yeah, yeah, I must be near. No, we didn't. Why are teams prioritizing Dyer in the current meta?
Yeah, 5 seconds left now. Oh, dire team ban. 10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron. You better pick your hero. 5 seconds.
I think I'm not sure if it got patched, but the ancients on the Radiant are a little bit awkward to stack. And then the Dire jungle structure, quite nice.
Radiant team ban.
First phase, 2 cores by 78p. Interesting choice.
Go dire team. Pick them up. Pick them out. You really got to pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fair. If their play style doesn't really it doesn't work against those type of heroes, then sure, take it out. But hopefully that doesn't make them, doesn't draft them into a corner.
Come on, dire team. Pick Oracle. Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. Yeah, come on, Radiant 5 seconds left now. Clockwork.
Glock. He is a bit of awkward hero in lane, but if I find like players that really know how to play that hero, especially on pause 4, they pop off. They have big impact in the entire game.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, I also think that Ogre starting to cogs can work because sometimes he has trouble closing that gap early on without hook.
You really got to pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine. Radiant team ban.
Yeah.
Uh, 10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron. You better pick your hero. 5 seconds.
So these all 3 bands from 78p are core bands. So Invertus has actually had free reign over their support picks, but they've I think these are both supports now picked, so an opportunity missed.
Oh, Dire team ban. Whew, Radiant team ban. Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero.
Yeah, and they lack stuns.
Yeah, 5 seconds left now.
I think Lifestealer is still in the pool. It looks good for both teams actually.
Oh man, Rick,
I would
there's only
say
10 seconds left to pick a hero. You better pick your hero.
definitely, yeah. And I think that early game raging to take down that tombstone, it nullifies Undying's early game potential, and that's really where he has massive impact in those early team fights.
10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron. 5 seconds, Morty. It'll be fine. Radiant team pick.
Yeah, it might be like a bracket meta thing, but I don't really see the value in all these core bands, because when you watch the pro teams, the mid picks are like Snapfire and they're going ET core and things like that. So the POS 1 pool, it seems very big at this point in time. So banning out these standard cores might not be might not be that efficient.
Team pick. Oh man, Rick, there's only 10 seconds left to pick a hero. Yeah, 5 seconds left now. Come on, Radiant team, you gotta pick him right.
Mirana.
Mm.
You really gotta pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left. Oh, Dire team, pick him up.
Spectre, one of the cores that are still in the pool. They've got
10 seconds to pick your hero, you moron.
their lockdown is lacking. We'll see what their last pick is. I think they're going for that team fight. They've got a save. They've got sort of lockdown in terms of the Undying AOE slow. And then the Spectre ulti. So the team fight on Inverted actually looks quite good from that mid game onwards. If we see like lots of early aggression, they might crumble, but they definitely have that late game that investment. Yes, I like the pack. It also substitutes that, I would say, that early game that they really need to be concerned about. I think it's even better now against these next two picks, which are quite squishy.
You really gotta pick a hero. You got 10 seconds left. You better pick your hero. 5 seconds. Whew, Radiant team ban. Uh, 10 seconds to pick your hero. Oh, Dire team ban.
Yes.
Come on, Dire team, pick it good.
I like this range setup for 78p against the Sand King and the Undying. It's I think that's definitely going to come in handy.
It'll be fine.
I think the Madonna is too flexible to say. Yeah, I think that it keeps Invertus guessing for even like right up until the end of the draft, which shows the mark of a good drafting team.
Radiant team pick.
I don't know.
You really got to pick a hero.
I don't think it's going to outcarry a Spectre. But I think the timing of the gyro is a little bit earlier. It's got good tile push early and synergize with Bloodlust. I think they did need something that could hit towers and like use Bloodlust, so you can close out that game, or just close off the map before Spectre gets too scary.
Get up on in there and choose that hero.
Okay. So there's the lockdown. Definitely, and I would say he's more versatile in his options as the game progresses. Whereas Puck he either needs to be defensive or aggressive, and his role is always going to be the same. Get the so so a common build now is you start off you essentially maxing costs early in the laning phase, and you do want at least 1 point in Wex. You can decide to go into Exhort and then you like more of an Exhort Invoker, or you commit completely to Coswex. But it looks like he cast Sunstrike, so
I know, Morty. Just follow my lead. 30 seconds till Jit goes ham in the dollar store, Morty.
Yeah, they do, but Jado's range isn't the greatest.
Who's that blowing the horn? Somebody stop blowing that horn.
Caustic. Oh, lovely. They diving the tower. Wow, this level 1 Undying is dealing damage. That's a neat little setup here. I think Oracle can definitely set up Spectre's lane as well. There we go. She's got numbers on the board. Yes, so I think Exhort Invoker is very weak in the early levels, especially is like susceptible to harass. But fortunately, Wind Ranger isn't particularly good at that at level 1 and 2 either. So she can trade better now. She's got Wind Run. I think it comes down to skill and who knows the matchup better in this lane.
That tickles.
Yeah, so a lot of Invoker's damage early on, especially Exhort, comes from his right clicks. So that Wind Run is going to be coming in clutch. I think when Wind gets focus fire and a javelin, then she can threaten Invoker. But I don't think the lane's going to get to that point. Yeah, I would like to see a +1 if either mid laner goes for kill here. It might just be too even if they equally leveled with equal net worth. Then it's going to be a bit difficult. Makes you vulnerable. Yeah, I don't think they have enough damage regardless of whether they land the arrow, I would say, in the first 3 levels from full. If they've been skirmishing constantly in the lane, then maybe. Yeah, and Wind also has that option to dive the tower with the Wind Run. So maybe Madonna can push this game in the team's favor.
Sorry guys, I just realized my mic was on mute on stream. I'm such a papago. Oh man. Sorry about that guys. But yeah, so this is 78p versus Invertus Forte. We just have a bit of a pause here. Some of the players are just reconnecting. So we should be started very soon. But yeah, so I don't know, pretty even draft so far. I think you know, I don't think 78p on the die can let this go late. You know, beating a Spectre with you know, I think Sand King also scales quite well this game. You know, potentially getting an Axe, you know, Veil, Blink Dagger, you know, and maybe even a Shivers. I think Shivers could be good this game.
Maybe maybe they do go late and they just get AP and Gyro.
Yeah, I mean that could be that. I mean, look, obviously Satanic would be quite strong this game as well. Just negating a lot of the what Invoker does, and Sand as well. But yeah, Divine Rapier is a reality, a very big possibility. We've actually seen a lot of well, not in this tournament, but in some of the higher tier 1 tournaments, we've seen early Divine Rapiers coming out on cores, just to close out matches.
Yeah, I think people have like teams are having this fear of not being able to close out the map hard enough, and so they rather just commit to winning the game.
100%. And something to point out, we see the Sand King actually went for Caustic Finale level 1. Do you think that, you know, he maybe could have gone for the stun and Sandstorm knowing that Gyrocopter's here? I mean, Gyrocopter's range isn't that long, so maybe if he can catch him with a stun in between a wave.
Yeah, I'm unsure about that. Maybe the 10% slow, so they went for that first blood. Maybe that 10% slow constantly from him refreshing it all the time is actually better than a 1.6 second stun. But
yeah, and you know, obviously it does explode over time, so you still technically get one explosion on it. But you know, I think they would have secured that kill anyway with the Oracle and the Undying. Alrighty, it looks like we're going to be back in it, guys. Just a couple disconnects there. But yeah, so things looking, I would say, alright for either side. You know, I think we need to see a lot coming up from Milo here on this Wind Ranger. It is going to be, it's going to be a very key hero this game for the side of 78p. And funny enough, just a bit of a fact, yeah, 78p actually beat Invertus Forte last time these two teams met.
top lane.
Ooh, we got a Sunstrike coming through.
That's the kill.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful map awareness by Rook.
And funny enough, 3Pete is also getting quite low, and he actually is trying to walk up there. They might even dive this. It looks like Kaki, he definitely wants to try go for this. Might be in a spot of bother here as the Fairy Fire comes out.
Fairy Fire. And feeds his life away under the tower. Nice baiting in, controlling the distance there by Gyro.
Good bait.
Looks like Invoker's struggling in the middle.
Yeah.
So here's where I feel the lane can get difficult for Invoker if he tanks a few too many power shots and he just loses the regen battle here against Wind Ranger.
Yeah, we do.
Because she does get that bottle, and early on in the game that can be very useful.
I think we will see that bottle coming out. In fact, tanks another power shot there. But we do see that Invoker has 2 mangoes. That's quite interesting. And that full magic wand. Alrighty, we see Wind just Wind running there to save what was left of that clarity, and actually finishes off that Forge Spirit.
Another power shot. This.
Oh man. We do see that Invoker is going for 2 nulls. What do you think? Do you think Midas is still an optional Invoker?
I've seen it. I think you can't really. Sometimes you don't really want to make that decision too early.
Oh, we see another kill going down onto the clockwork, but in fact they're actually going onto this Gyrocopter here.
Top lane, yeah. He managed to make it out again, controlling our distance.
Yeah, they might even actually be able to bring down Ogre. It looks like they're probably not going to be able to do that, but yeah, this is an aggressive lane. Wow, okay.
Oh, it looks like Oracle out of position.
But gets the Marana though, so not too bad here. And Spectre's just farming.
His life.
Yeah,
the Radiant side is definitely having a little bit of an easier early game.
Yeah, which is a little concerning. Yeah, it's a little concerning because this Invoker and Spectre are topping in last hit shots in That's that's a little scary because these heroes scale extremely well.
I still believe in the early group up potential of the dire side, so they can definitely.
Definitely. So it looks like not much is changing here in this top lane. Obviously, Sand King is doing extremely well in those last hits, maxing out that Corsair finale. But he does have a point in Sandstorm and in Burrow Strike, just for the utility sake. And that's quite interesting. If you max out Caustic Finale, you can just keep shoving the wave and dive the tower. So, getting Caustic Finale early is not too bad if you just keep shoving the wave. Oh, we do see that actually going on the Sand King. The Sand King just stuns out of there. I'm not sure how they saw him. Oh, there was a sentry down. Alright.
A little bit too tanky for them to kill.
Yeah. So do you think Undying should stay top? I mean, Sand King can just keep shoving this wave. Undying could potentially rotate bottom. I don't think he could rotate mid onto the window. That's, the kill potential is not going to be there.
I feel so. Undying serves his purpose now in the lane. I'm not sure what he does after this, just because Tombstone doesn't work against Verdana. It's not like he has a stun to just go in.
Yeah.
So maybe he just does need to stay at top lane and
true.
oppress the shadow.
Yeah, look, they can shove this wave, as we were saying earlier, shove the wave and dive. That's where Tombstone actually becomes very key. And in fact, 3P's getting in a lot of trouble. The stun comes out, Tombstone is there, but the one charges are there as well. In fact, they can manage to Sunstrike. Oh, it's going to land, and it actually picks up the Gyrocopter. And they're actually looking at going for 2 here, but it looks like they're just tanking too much of the tower hits here. Oh, we see the stuns coming out. Oh, Sand King in a lot of trouble. Yet does pick up the loss and actually survives that. Wow, okay.
Beautiful diagonal between those two players. Nice communication.
Yeah, very, very nicely done. And in fact, we were just chatting about like how maybe he should rotate and stuff. I think they just proved that they shouldn't. This is their game to win. But we do see that it looks like Spectre's in a lot of trouble here. Spectre should fall here. Does have a couple stick charges. Does get popped. Oh, but the beautiful magic disarm. Oh, but the arrow is there on point. Shansky just doing a huge work there. Because I mean, Good Boy has actually got red out of there. Alrighty, we actually see the level 6s coming out here. We've got Clockwork with level 6. Oh, we're seeing a couple kills. Sand King going down in this off lane. Yeah, wow, okay. I think our dying just wasn't there.
Missed that one. I did notice that Invertus is going for travels first.
Alright, so no Midas, no, Yules or anything like that. Just straight. Oh, he's actually going to go for the Meteor and Cold Snap. Noticing that the Wind Run ended, in fact, disarms him as well. I don't think he has enough mana to Sunstrike. Probably not.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Fight going on top. Gyro using his ult. Undying dropping low. Looks like he's done. He's dying here.
Well, it looks like 3P's in a lot of trouble here. And actually, the stun comes out and gets him.
Oh,
and Ogre actually has an urn. Wow. Okay. Oh, the sun's coming out. They could actually turn this if... Oh, it looks like Sand King will fall to that urn charge and actually refreshes it. Oh, is Ogre going to turn around? No, he isn't. Oh, man. I'm not sure who wins this trade. Oh, Ogre just dominating with his urn of shadows. Oh, and in fact, we also see Invoker going down mid. Wow, okay.
And there's that +1. That +1 mid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So that's 3 kills in a short space of time for the Dire.
It was looking a little, I would say a little shaky in the start of this game for the Dire, but that certainly changes things. I mean, Evoker doesn't have that, I mean, his boosted travel is going to take a while now.
Bot lane. Clock is turning. They originally were going on clock, but...
Oh man, Spectre tanked the arrow for him, and in fact, the Sunstrike's there to pick up that kill. And in fact, Oracles should actually survive this. Has 3 mangoes and a soul here. Wow, okay, these Sunstrikes have been on point. This guy's certainly performing. Oh, the solutions almost killed Oracle's career. They just de-aggroed as the Oracle got close there. Alrighty, we see a huge stack here being taken by Mind here on the Sand King. He does have Sandstorm was used earlier, but 3 levels in Caustic Finale, so that should be enough. What do you think the Sand King should build? We see Sand King's obviously got the Blink Yules up, but do you think a Veil might be good, obviously, to help the Invoker with that damage potential?
I think because of the lack of lockdown, maybe the positioning from the Blink is a bit more important.
Yeah.
But the build-up of Veils...
We're seeing a bit of a fight here. Tombstone's being dropped. In fact, the Morana ulti's coming through. The Sand King ultis, and it looks like they might be in a bit of trouble here. Gyrocopter getting super low, but should be able to bring down that Undying. And in fact, Sand King's in a lot of trouble. Oh, Caustic Finale, they're just... I mean, it's doing work here.
I mean, it is maxed out.
Yeah.
Just delegate value. Looks like he's not gonna make it out of here, though.
Power shot coming from wind. Sniped. I mean, I think Milo's playing Counter-Strike here.
AWP buy in the third round.
I hope he did a 360 no-scope there, you know? Just to flex a bit. Alrighty. But if we look at the net worths here, I suspect, yeah, Invoker's still topping that, but Wind is actually catching up there quite a bit. We do see Invoker has got the travels as well.
I think travels means that he can be anywhere on the map, but it doesn't necessarily synergize with kill potential or anything like that. So he's going to use the travels to get top now. It doesn't look like it's going to sit. Misses his ability.
Yeah, we do see a rotation from Clockwork. The hookshot is being cast there. They find Invoker. Do they have dust though? Oh, it looks like he's not able to get off his invis. There we go. They could turn this. Oracle is here. They're going to get the False Promise off, and the Tombstone is dropped. Invoker should be able to get a reasonably good tornado here if he does have it up.
Tombstone is down.
Well, save onto the...
Save out from Oracle. Sunstrike onto 2. The damage is split.
Oh man, that Deafening Blast absolutely destroyed him. And I can't believe this Undying's still alive. I mean, I know he got saved by Oracle, but he took a lot of damage there. I think he obviously soul ripped himself there as well during that fight. I suspect that's the only way he would have survived. But good rotations from these teams. You know, obviously they lose mid tower for that, but still a good fight, taking down that Gyrocopter once again.
And it's good to see Invoker did go for something I would say is quite greedy in Boots of Travel, but he shows that like he's going to use it to help his team. He goes top and has presence.
Yeah, what do you suspect will be his next item? You know, obviously he has quite a lot of options here, but they have a lot of catch and stun, so I don't think he needs to do that necessarily. He'll probably eventually need a BKB, I would suspect, and maybe he even could go for a Blink Dagger.
I think there's potential for that Blink Dagger, most likely Aghanim's.
Yeah. Do you think it would be a next item though? Or, I mean, I would suspect he needs some sort of a utility item first.
What type of utility item are you thinking? Drums?
Yules, drums, Blink Dagger, I'm not 100% sure. We do see he has queued up that Blink Dagger, and in fact the hookshot is on him, and they bring down the Gyrocopter as well. Just to say, that should be the end of him.
So they trade the... Ooh, Mirana going down.
Yeah, and in fact it looks like Ogre's going to be the one that's going down next. Unfortunately, all of his strength is gone, and Spectre actually rotating for this, and they're actually giving Spectre that kill. But they need to be careful here. A couple rotations. Oh, beautiful Shackle, but unfortunately will not get out of there. In fact, Oracle's looking like he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Wind doesn't have mana though, so I suspect they won't be able to potentially bring down this Oracle. One last hit. Oh, it does pop the False Promise, and should be able to solve there. I'm not sure who came out on top of that fight. It seemed quite even.
Yeah, the gold lead would show that it's sub 1k lead for the Radiant team.
If we look at the gold exchange in that fight, it was about 900 gold to the Radiant and about 500 to the Dire. The XP was about the same, about 300 difference between the XP. But yeah, so not too much between these teams, but I think as we said in the drafting phase, you know, that kind of favors Invertus on the Radiant. But you know they at the point where they're almost grouping up, we actually see a Sunstrike coming out. Okay.
Totally.
Okay. Yeah, just getting that
Farming
creep.
Sunstrike.
Yeah. I mean, at this. Oh, wow. Okay, we actually see Invoker going for that
Wind.
4-staff. Obviously
Yeah, for
to
the
deal with
clockwork.
the clock. Yeah.
Wind gets a solo kill on
Radiant just fortified
Undying.
their structures.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm dying.
Looks
so
like
not
they're
able to
gonna
get out of
lose.
that.
Leads me to believe that Dire just fortified their structures.
First item MKB on the Wind Ranger. I mean, I've seen a lot of Winds do this. Do you think, you know, obviously Wind is probably their biggest damage outputter for probably the next 20 minutes of this game.
Most likely. I think he wants to get that damage out, so he gets over the threshold of being able to sort of solo kill any hero that he can latch onto, and then from there on he can get defensive items as he needs. Because otherwise, what does Wind really do? It just stands around, has a power shot, a shackle.
Yeah, not too much. You need that absolute damage, and that's why they tend to go that MKB first item. But just jumping back to this Invoker, we see that Invoker actually went for the 4-staff. We were chatting about it earlier, obviously Blink Dagger or some sort of utility item, but probably going to go for Aghanims next, right? You need it as an Exhort Invoker, very much so.
Yeah, we see the Spectre go for quite non-greedy. You know, he's got full treads, blade mail. He's getting the Mantis style. So they might be actually looking to be aggressive earlier, and he might get a BKB, and they take the fight to them, even though they have the late game last.
Yeah. We do see a Mirana ult getting popped. I'm not sure what they're looking to do. Obviously, they grouped up to push mid tower here. Sand King does have a Blink Dagger up, so could be a good time for them to actually fight here. Oh, I think that's a perfect arrow there. If I'm not mistaken, that's like 5 seconds, but he's going to be hard to bring down. Oh, we see Wind in the background. Oh, didn't focus by that illusion, luckily. But they need to jump that Oracle here in these fights, because Oracle's just going to save whoever Wind focus fires down. Looks like we're going to see a team fight. Wind is going to go for the shackle, but the blinks are there. And yeah, it looks like they're just going to back off here. I think Gyrocopter's still farming top, Spectre farming bottom. I think both teams kind of content with farming right now.
Yeah, at 17 minutes, they probably want to farm. Both teams probably just want to get their key items. We watched that engagement. It was more of a stare down than an engagement.
Yeah.
And I realized that with Undying and Oracle and the regen on Invoker and Spectre's also starting to tank up, they lack the ability to actually just clear heroes, the Dire team.
I mean, we saw a 5-second arrow land on Undying, and he essentially soul ripped himself to full there. I know he was surrounded by a lot of heroes and creeps, but that, you know, back to your point, that is actually a very... Oh, in fact, we see... Oh, this could be enough damage, though. They get the shackle off. The Spectre actually haunts in there, so they might actually want to take this. In fact, they're actually going on to top there. In fact. Oh, but he definitely blasted
Beautiful
in.
play by Invoker.
But he's in a spot of bother here. Oh, wow. 4-staff paying off there for him. They
Nice
could re-engage this, though. We do see Sand King blinks in, gets the stun onto Clockwork, and it looks like they are going to re-engage this. But it looks like, wow, that NKP doing so much damage there, and in fact going to bring down another hero, so... Wow, that's
Oracle isolated as well, chasing further.
Oh, yeah, Oracle in a lot of trouble there. Yeah, this Wind is doing what the Wind needed to do, outputting that damage. I mean, we saw how quickly Invoker just went down there. And as Invoker, I don't know how you solve that, because you can't really go Ghost Scepter. Well, I suppose you can, but it's not ideal. You still need your Aghanim Scepter, you need probably BKB. But yeah, maybe just slotting in a Ghost Scepter there might be the solution.
It might be. I think now that Travels is starting to look like a bit of a mistake, just because he poured 2k gold into a recipe and they're being run at, so it's not like he's going to be TPing anyway anytime soon.
Yeah, maybe he just needs to. Oh, we're seeing a bit more of initiation. Undying just absolutely getting blown up there, but they do potentially get the trade kill here. The stun is there, but can they save the Undying there? Oh, it's going. Oh wow, he actually came back onto full HP. They spot another one. Can they get the cold snap? It doesn't look like it. It was on cooldown. But that's a good engagement.
Overextension by wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looked like by all rights Undying should have died there. I mean, it was so close. Oracle doing a good job to stop that though.
Oh, Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alrighty, it looks like they're gonna finally get this mid tower down.
Middle tower just took a big
We do see Gyrocopters farming. He is going for that Sanjin Yasha build. Obviously, stages resistance is probably key for him. Do you think he should go Ags though this game? Or do you think it's a bit late? Obviously, going Sanjin Yasha first.
I think the Ags. Oof.
Oof, yeah, just that blink.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be getting any items, but the Ags. I don't think the Ags is as good in games where you aren't locked down as much.
Yeah. We do see another initiation. Wow, the wind just absolutely going ham then. Actually brings down Invoker. And it looks like oh, the shackle onto wind. It actually skipped over the trees. And the hook shot there is beautifully done to actually change that. They might actually turn this wind. Obviously can't hit that Spectre with that blade mail. And maybe they can turn this here. We do see Oracle. Oh, Spectre Haunt.
Spectre comes out. Wind runner, cooldown.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to back down. Oh, they're actually initiating in there. They're trying to bring down this Mirana, but it looks like Sand King's going to go down there. And, wow, the Corsair Finale actually finished off that Mirana.
Yeah, I think there was a dagger that came out as well.
Oh, okay, it was a Spectre Dagger. Alright, yeah, bit of a tough fight for them, but, you know, obviously Wind, I mean, is looking very strong with that MKB. And has actually queued up that Bloodthorn as well. So Invoker will need some sort of an item. We see that Invoker did go back for a Blink Dagger. You know, that mobility is very huge. Blink Dagger, 4 staff, TP boots, just to move around those fights.
Oh boy, what do you know? Radiant's top tower.
We see Spectre actually does have the Manta actually ready, just needs to go purchase that. Do you think we haven't ever seen Spectres go Radiances in quite a long time. Do you think that meta is just over?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think it's situational. It's not as I don't think it's as good. Just because it means that your Spectre kind of sits around for far too long. Like a hero like Gyrocopter, yeah, he has to farm and he's been fairly low net worth relative to the other heroes in this game, yet with his ultimate he has impact. And when Spectre goes Radiance, they just tend to do nothing with their ults early.
Yeah, 100%. I do agree with you. He does pick up that Sanjin Yasha though on the Gyrocopter, so that is going to help him quite a lot. Obviously, a good Morbid Mod Mask next will be able to help him out there. So he should be able to sustain. Mirana, do they have detection? Oh, they do have the sentry there, but lacking a bit of lockdown for Mirana.
So I think with that Sanjin Yasha, this is Dire's opportunity. They've got now a mech, Sanjin Yasha, MKB, and they only have 1 point in Bloodlust, so maybe they weren't planning on getting the Gyro involved this early.
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna have to get involved. We do see actually a smoke coming through here. They do actually know Invoker's here, and if they can pick up Invoker, that's gonna be insane scary. But the Blink Dagger, oh man, Rook is just looking very quick fingers on that skill there. But in fact, Mirana needs to be careful here. They could actually combo them out here, and in fact, it looks like the Haunt is gonna come through. The Undying does go down, but are they gonna continue into this? Yeah, I think they're gonna back out. They need to deal with Sunstrike coming through. It looks like the fight's still going on. They actually bring down the Clockwork, and Sand King unfortunately doesn't get that ulti off. Oof.
2 kills going away.
Yeah, getting Clock was good, but they need to deal with this Wind Ranger. I don't know if anyone could build. Probably Undying and Sand King could build Heaven's Halberds maybe.
Potentially. I think, yeah, the Sand King is looking at a Lotus Orb right now. Could be good. Another dispel on that team.
Oh man, what an arrow. He actually got arrowed in mid in all those creeps. And in fact, actually they get the damage block on all of that. And the focus fires onto the Spectre, but he can't stop shooting the Spectre, and it will fall. And it looks like the disarm is onto all of them there. They could change this, but the hasted Gyrocopter should be able to get out of there. But Ogre, maybe not so much. Oh damn, and the multi-cast there. I mean, Ogre's sitting at level 13, so he's got that level 2 in his ulti. I mean, that was a 2-for-2 trade. They bring down Wind, lose only their supports there for that.
So yeah, I mean, it was a 2-for-2 trade, but I think it's terrible for Dire just because you can see by their mentality, they feel like they're on a timer, and they forced that fight. They went for an engagement that was suboptimal. They feel the pressure now of having to end before the Spectre gets too big.
Looks like we might see initiation here. Clockwork did cogs but didn't catch him. So to that point, I think you know, it's kind of interesting that you know, the Wind. Oh, we're seeing Ogre going down there. But Wind actually. Oh, the arrow actually landed on Invoker. Invoker's probably going to fall here. Yeah, and there we go. What an arrow! That must have been max range on that arrow. But yeah, so I think the Wind went on the wrong target there. Unfortunately, did go into Spectre, and Spectre managed to survive until getting that blade mail off, and then Wind couldn't get away, even with BKB popped.
Boom, there it goes.
Yeah, poor target choice, and I think with the Radiant standing on a hill, almost surrounding the Dire team, they would just have a significant disadvantage in that fight. But
yeah,
and I think they knew that. They just feel pressured to sort of try and
that's true.
get some objectives. It's the second time they've pushed mid into a team fight. And all the team fights away from the mid lane or away from these tier 2s they've been winning.
Yeah.
But they can't get the fights in front of the objectives.
Yeah, look, pushing into their lineup is a bit tricky. Obviously, Sand King, great initiation, and Invoker as well, having such that control. But I think they do. I think they're feeling the pressure for the right reason. Oh, and in fact, they get the arrow. The Windrunner is going to get the shackle, and that's probably Sand King down. I think those are the plays they need to make.
They're chasing Invoker top lane. Clockwork and Gyro.
Should be able to get the hook shot off here, and yes, the rocket lands, but the Spectre comes in, is able to soak up that battery assault, and in fact they're turning onto this, the blade mails then. Gyrocopter can't, unfortunately. Oh, they actually got the Gyrocopter.
Invoker, long range tornado.
Oh man, I think they know roughly where he is, and yeah, there's the dust, there's a deafening blast, very well done. Unfortunately, Gyrocopter doesn't quite have BKB, and maybe that's what they need to wait for.
So yeah, Gyro, he wants to get a BKB now. I don't see them getting a Silver's Edge at all this game for that Spectre. It's just they don't have the headers to build one. And I don't think they have the income either.
I mean, Wind could go cheeky there. I don't think it's ideal, but it is a possibility maybe.
I feel they really just want this win to do his thing here. This is.
Oh man, we're seeing a bit of an initiation there. It looks like Wind is going to BKB and probably bring down the Sand King. It looks like Tombstone is down. The arrows there actually catches them dying. Wow. But they're going to continue trying. They actually stopped the TP from Wind, so they could bring down Wind. Invoker's in a good spot here to help them do that. And in fact, the Tombstone's doing a lot of work here in the backline. They need to try and bring that down. Yeah, and they do. Oh, these arrows have been on point this game, Shape.
They have. That one just barely missing.
Yeah, no, that was quite crazy. But yeah, so Wind unfortunately not able to get out of there, but they do bring down 2 heroes. But yeah, Spectre's getting a bit out of control now. I think the Blade Mail with the Skadi almost ready, and that Manta, so they need to potentially get a Silver's Edge up or something to deal with the Spectre. Because obviously with the Blade Mail, Wind can't do that anymore.
Yeah, and I mean even without the blade mail, that dispersion is gonna start.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Obviously, it is maxed out. Obviously, has level 20 with that plus 400 HP. That's quite a scary thought.
There's the study complete.
Yeah. Oh, that's also quite scary. I mean, sitting at 3.2k HP, that's quite scary. Oh, gonna throw out the arrow. Yeah, it was a bit of an ambitious arrow there. In fact, it's gonna have to leap out of there. But yeah, they need to figure something out. Maybe they can look for a pick off, go Roche, and then look at these tier 2s. I think that's probably their best option right now.
Yeah, so they got the Paladin Sword now for Jada, which in most cases would be good, but they already have a Skadi Spectre, so
Yeah, look,
I
he
think
needs that
it's
lifesteal.
Buddy.
Oh, I mean, look at this. They're trying to just poke the Spectre, but it's just not doing too much there. They actually almost have an Ags on this clock. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's quite an interesting item. Oh, we're seeing that they're actually going on the Marauder. Oh, what a brilliant shackle. But again, the focus fire is onto the Spectre. They might actually be able to do this before. Yeah, there we go. They bring down the Spectre. And in fact, couldn't get down that... double BKBs being popped.
BKB coming in there.
Yeah, doing a lot of work there. In fact, they just need the detection though. Oh, he does run up with the stun coming through from the Ogre. And in fact, it's now looks like the Invoker's the one that's in trouble here. And as you said, the fights that are just not at the tier 2s, they seem to win.
Yeah, I think that was also a little bit unfortunate for Radiant, seeing as Jado just picked up the Paladin Sword and the BKB before that fight.
Yeah, so we see the Jesso being picked up as well from the Wind
Did
Ranger.
you see that Sunstrike prediction there into the leap by? Wow.
Well, he did get rooted from Fortune's End, so he did pop it on that, but it was well coordinated.
Well, the Fortune End was cast before the leap.
Oh, was it? Okay.
But both,
Okay.
yeah, both these mid laners, they're showing. They're showing.
Yeah, they were certainly bringing their A game. They're flexing a bit here, but I'm interested in this Invoker. I mean, he's got BKB now, and now he's only going Ags. Do you think, you know, obviously going that late Aghanim Scepter? I've seen quite a lot of Invokers do that, but you know, it means you're not as versatile in the early game.
Yeah, so I mean, I think because Ags now essentially, you know, the biggest part of it is Cataclysm, but you don't necessarily need that damage early on, and then it doesn't do anything if you can't lock them down, and this lineup can't lock people down.
We often see that the Invokers are often paired with the Faceless Voids for that exact reason. But yeah, it looks like both teams are actually smoked up here, so I think they're just gonna miss each other. In fact, it looks like they are gonna. Oh, the Invoker does blink forward, but he's in a lot of trouble. Couldn't get the BKB off, but he does get saved there. But it looks like he needs to just get off whatever spells he can, and in fact, they are trying to save him. But Ogre and Clockwork just going down, but Invoker does end up falling, and so does Undying. Wow, I mean, oh, look at that shackle.
Lockdown.
But I mean, he's so
The
tanky.
dispersion is coming in big though.
Yeah. On in fact, Spectre does end up falling, but they're actually just cleaning up with the rest of the heroes. Then they do have Aegis, but it looks like Marauder is going to fall, and I think they just got to run from this Gyrocopter right now. But
So that was the Aegis
right,
usage. Unfortunately, they don't get an objective out of it, but they are increasing their hit. And Jada being the only core alive at the moment also means that he gets to catch up to the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we see that Morbid Mars coming out. He's queued up that Satanic. I think when he gets that, it's going to be go time for them. You know, Spectre, as much as Spectre's got that Scarred, it's only technically like 3 slotted. You know, so there's still stuff like Satanic on a Spectre, a Butterfly potentially, or something like that. Probably won't go Butterfly, I suspect, with the Wind having MKB. So I see that I noticed Marauder is
has Greaves heals and Clock just has heals. So it's was it 3 Marana?
So I think it was 3 clock. Oh, in fact, speaking of clock, clock goes down there to the Invoker and the Sand King. But I think Clockworks have been having a tough game so far. You know, we saw that hook shot earlier onto the Spectre top lane, and it actually turned out to be a tough fight for them. So I think Morana's been having a good game, and Clockwork seems to be having a tough one. Does finish up the Aghanim Scepter though now. And what are your thoughts on this? Oh, in fact, we're seeing a Yule Scepter onto the Invoker. The arrow's not going to be there because the Sand King is just watching there carefully. And in fact, it looks like Morana is not going to be... Oh, the leaps are coming. In fact, Shackle's there. The Spectre, though, comes in, and the Disarm is there. But the BKBs as well. Look at that Blade Mail doing so much work to that Gyrocopter. And in fact, brings down that... the Gyrocopter, and looks like... oh, we see that... yeah, oh man, it gets it gets absolutely blasted up there, and it looks like Ogre's in a lot of trouble here. I mean, unfortunately, that was yeah, that was a bit aggressive there from the Marana, because I mean, she didn't know where the rest of the team was.
Yeah, I think she was expecting it to be a pick-off, but I'm also not sure how she expected to do that with just Marana.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a challenge, but obviously the Spectre is just absolutely... I mean, that ultra kill was very rough for them. But yeah, so... yeah, the timings are running a bit fine here, because the Spectre out here is online right now. I mean, almost has that Abyssal Blade as well, sitting at around 4k in the bank. Oh man, looks like they're going to lose a tier 3 as well, and probably a Rax here. This is actually quite devastating for them, because, you know, their timings are running a bit low, I would say. You know, they obviously can get a pick off and potentially get a Rax of their own, but in fact they're actually doing a bit of an initiation. I'm not sure what Sand King was 100% thinking there, but does have that Lotus Orb up, does manage to stun out of there, and actually gets healed up to full from this Undying. Wow. Oh, we see Clockwork running at them, but he did pop the Aghanim Scepter overclocking, so he's going to be stunned for quite a while. Alrighty, let's see what they can do here. Obviously they did lose a Rax there, but they've still got 2 Raxes left. They got their tier 2s up. Obviously they got that Gyrocopter farming up that Satanic. Almost actually has it. And I think Wind Ranger is going back for that Orchid. So it should be quite interesting. They do scan out Roche. It does pop, but I don't think... Yeah, Roche shouldn't be up for quite a while, so we'll see. Yeah, may respawn in 2 minutes.
Both teams looking for tier 4 neutral items, and then I think once they've got that, it's going to be go time, you know, and it's going to be a deciding fight. If the Radiant wins that fight, I think it's over for...
Oh, we see a bit of initiation here. It looks like Clockwork's getting initiated on. He did opt for the Yule Scepter and the Ag, so no Blade Mail there. But yeah, I think you're right. It might be go time with these items coming out. We saw Witless Shaco coming out, so I'm not sure where it was, but that's a pretty solid tier 4 item. I'm just trying to see.
Timeless Relic on Sand King.
Oh, and Spell Prism on this Invoker. That's a 20% cooldown reduction on all spells and items. So the BKB, Blinks, 4 Staves. I mean, and the plethora of spells that he actually has. It's quite something. That is quite scary on him. We do see an Illusionist Cape being picked up there by Clock. I suspect it'll probably go to maybe Gyrocopter. Would you replace that over a Paladin Sword though?
Like I said, I don't believe in a lifesteal as much, just because the Scud is so good against it.
Oh man, we see a bit of initiation here. The Arrow lands, they're trying to initiate, but look at that aggressive blink in from that Invoker, and the Sand King ulti there and Spectre as well. It looks like Wind is just BKB TPing out of there, and it's Ogre that's going to tank that one. Oh, they are aggressively running the Yule Scepters there. Do they have a stun from Sanking? Not quite yet. Another Yule's is coming through. Cataclysm comes through. And that is a dead Mirana. Oof. And I think that might cost them. Roche is... wow, Roche is about 2.5 minutes... 2 minutes 40 out. So that's not going to be a factor for them. But I think from Invertus Forte, they could group up now and push these tier 2s. Without an Aegis.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, 59 minutes, get both outposts. Oh, this is one of the outposts.
Oh man, it looks like Clockwork's in a lot of trouble. He does have his own Yules, but in fact, we see the BK being dropped on the book, and he's actually getting absolutely destroyed there, but manages to get out of there. And in fact, the Abyssal coming from Spectre, and it looks like Clockwork is going to be going down there. And unfortunately, these pick-offs are coming through thick and fast from these guys. Oof. And we see Invokers going for that Lincolns. Do you think that's just for the Windrunner? Or Wind Ranger rather?
Yeah, I think Wind is like his biggest threat. How he dies in this game. So
yeah, I mean, as we saw there, he almost got put from full to 0 in a couple seconds there. In fact, he's aggressively blinking, gets a tornado, but it does not connect on all of them, just over.
Dire's middle tower.
Alrighty.
Pretty lame. You know what I'm trying to tell you.
Looks like they are grouping up here. They might even actually go high ground here. Spectre does have 25, hasn't selected a talent though. Do you think the illusion damage is ever a viable option, or just go for dispersion?
I would say just dispersion, especially against Wind Ranger.
Yeah. And probably Gyrocopter as well. It's too good. And, oh man, these aggressive blinks from Invoker, they stress me out a bit. But certainly good tornadoes though.
Yeah, I think he's.
You see a bit of initiation here. So yeah, the Invoker went down, does buyback, should be able to TP back into this fight. It looks like Spectre did haunt in there, but I don't think it's going to jump onto any of those illusions right now. In fact, oh yes, there's the initiation tornado. I think that's a 5-man tornado. Oh, the Cataclysm! It only connects onto Ogre. Mirana buying back, Ogre buying back. It looks like Milo's going down with no buyback, and 3Pete is also going down there with no buyback. And yeah, not looking too good for them. We see that the Invoker does get a brilliant ice wall there. And that should be another hero going down. Does have buyback though. Oh man, this is looking a little tough for 78p here. They're losing heroes here. Ogre goes down, and that's a dieback onto Ogre. So yeah, they should be able to clean up a bit here. As they seem to be hitting the racks and the tier 4s there. But I think the calls coming through from the teams just go for the end. You know, they would have fought back if they could. Yeah. See what Mirana can do here. Mirana is just aggressively playing here. Might be able to try go for the... Oh man, the magic resist coming there on. Tries to get out of there, but the tornado is on point. In fact, the Yule Scepter's there. Stuns should be there. And that should be all she wrote. The GG's coming out, and that is it. Shape. That is game 1 done and dusted for the series.
Game 1, I think, despite the outdraft, Dai did very well to 78p did very well to like keep the fights happening. I think it was outstanding performance by Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I think Wind looked very good there. You know, I do think they looked comfortable on the picks. I just think, you know, Invertus, they had the right kind of draft in my opinion. I do agree with you in that. You know, obviously they didn't have the same pressure. You know, they were able to just sit back and be like, you know, you guys come to us. You know, because they were losing the fights where they weren't. You know, so in terms of the drafts, you know, 78p could win those fights. They just couldn't push into that lineup. You know, Undying, Spectre, Invoker, Sanking. It was just too much. Alrighty, guys, that is game 1 done and dusted. Bryn, do you think there was an MVP for that match? Who do you think was the MVP?
Does it have to be on the winning team?
No.
Wind Ranger.
Wind Ranger, okay.
Milo.
Milo, yeah. No, I think it was definitely a good performance. I was actually a little concerned in the beginning, but once she got MKB, she was just making plays left, right, and center. Do you think that they need to change something up though? Obviously, I think maybe in the drafting side, but for game 2, it's it's a best of 3, so they need to figure this out now in this game.
So I think it was 78p who banned all the cores, right? Yeah. So I mean, I think banning all the cores and then picking this last left them with a gyro into Spectre, and I don't think it's a good matchup. So definitely a drafting thing. I think they played well. They managed to stay in the game and apply pressure, even though they were behind in net worth, and yeah.
Yeah. No, it was a bit of a challenge. Maybe they could have left them. Look, with all those cores being banned out, they kind of left themselves in a weird spot where they didn't have too many cores to pick from, and I think that's what forced them into the gyro pick, which I think they could have done with like an Ursa or something, something that can just chunk through the heroes. Obviously, Wind was there, but once the Blade Mail came from Spectre, it was a bit of a game changer.
Ursa was banned.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which team banned him. Ursa was banned.
But yeah, there wasn't too many core options left for them there. They couldn't go for something like a PL because it's not too meta, and they had lots of AoE. But yeah, most of the cores were banned out there. I suppose there was heroes like Clinks that were still in there, Naga, Monkey King, PA. But those are not. You have to deal with the Spectre, which is quite a scary thought. Maybe Troll was the option. I know that hero is inherently good against Spectre, but I don't think it beats a Sand King in lane.
I think Troll can lane against Sand King. Use ranged.
Yeah, I mean it's not ideal though, because Troll does like to get up there, use that mischance to trade favorably, but I suppose he does have that utility vibe to him to deal with the Sand King. So that could have been an option for them. It's a good Silver's Edge carrier, and it's a good way of killing the Spectre with the roots and obviously the damage output.
Yeah, but I think what also set them up to struggle in that game was the laning phase